Assalamu alaikum dear students. I hope you all are fine and have done with your homeworks. What we read yesterday was that how Prince Edward, after being replaced by the pauper and after being thrown out by the soldiers of the palace, somehow managed to get himself towards the Christ's church, where students of the church dealt him very poorly, and then he remembered about the feast read where Tom had told him that he had a home. Suddenly, Tom's father found Prince Edward while he was wandering in the streets. Tom's father, John, also did not believe that he was actually a prince. Meanwhile, there in palace, everyone thought that prince had become mad, and king wasn't also accepting the truth that he was not actually the prince, he was the beggar Tom. Tom tried to told him again and again, but nobody understood. King was already very ill and became more frightened after seeing his boy's condition and wasn't ready to accept at all that his boy has gotten mad. After all this mess, let's see what is going to happen next. Our next chapter Is the Prince Mad? On page number 16. Let's start reading. Soon I shall die. King Henry looked thoughtful and worried. Then he turned to his servants. Listen, all of you. The prince is ill because he has been studying too hard. He will soon be well again. And ill or well, he is my dear son, and I am old and sick. I feel weak, and my old heart is tired. Soon I shall die, and my son will be King of England. His face was grey and tired. Then suddenly King Henry sat up very straight. Lord Hertford, he shouted. A tall gentleman came forward. He was Prince Edward's uncle. But of course, poor Tom did not. Of course, the poor boy Tom didn't know that. Lord Hertford, said the king, very soon shall I die. I shall die. And my dear son Edward must be crowned King of England. You must start getting everything ready for the coronation in my great church at Westminster Abbey. It must be a happy coronation. There must be music and feasting and soldiers marching and dancing in the streets of London. Tell them to start work at once. My lord, have you forgotten? Asked Lord Hertford. Planning the coronation is Lord Norfolk's job. Norfolk's. And you yourself threw him into prison. The king's face was dark with anger. Then cut off his head at once and get somebody else to arrange the coronation. Very well, my lord, said Lord Hertford sadly. I will give the orders. As Tom was led away, he thought sadly of Lord Norfolk. Norfolk. You can pronounce it like Norfolk or Norfolk, both ways. I don't know him, he thought, and I don't know what he has done wrong, but I feel sorry for him. He is a prisoner just like me. England needs him. Later, Lord Hertford spoke to his friend Lord St. John. Lord Hertford, being the prince's uncle, loved the boy very much and he was very worried and unhappy. My poor nephew is mad, he said. He was known me since he was a boy, but today he does not seem to recognize me at all. He does not seem to recognize anybody. He is like a stranger in a strange land. He does not know his way around the palace. He talks a lot of nonsense about beggars and he says he wants to go home to Fish Street. What can we do? His poor father will not live much longer, and then England will have a mad king. Lord St. John thought differently about the boy. I am not sure that I am not sure that he is mad. I agree that this boy does not recognize the king, he does not recognize us. He talks about paupers and Fish Street and he asks to go home to his family. But that may not mean that he is mad, it may mean that he is telling the truth. Perhaps he is not the prince at all. Perhaps he is really a poor boy. He really is a poor boy, and there has been a terrible mistake. Don't say such things, said Lord Hertford. What if the king hears you? And what is the poor boy doing wearing Prince Edward's clothes? No, no, this is Prince Edward, and he is out of his mind. Listen, my friend, the king has given orders about him. He says that the prince must not work or study too hard, and if at any time he behaves strangely, nobody must stare at him or say anything. Poor boy. I am sure the king is right. The prince has been studying too hard. Too much Greek, Latin, and French are not good for a young boy. He needs a holiday. Holiday. Everybody likes holidays. Let us hope that with good food and plenty of rest, he will soon be well again. England needs him. Tom's first dinner at the palace. Some time later, Tom had his first dinner at the palace. A servant stood behind each chair. The food was wonderful. Tom ate it with his fingers, but nobody stared at him. The king had given orders about that. A servant put a beautiful golden fruit on Tom's gold plate. It was like a ball of gold and it had a strange smell. What's this? Asked Tom in surprise. An orange, my lord, answered the servant. He pretended not to notice when Tom tried to eat the skin of the orange. After dinner, the servants whispered among themselves. They were all sure that their young prince was mad. After the meal, servants brought a big silver ball full of nuts. Tom had eaten nuts before in his old life in Fish Street. He filled his pockets with nuts. Everybody very carefully pretended not to notice. They pretended not to notice. Then a servant brought a bowl of warm water with a sweet smelling flour in it, for him to wash his hands. Another servant held a clean white towel. Tom picked up the bowl and drank the water. This doesn't taste very nice, he said. Still nobody took any notice. At last the meal was finished and Tom was able to go back to the prince's room. He was very glad to be alone. There he amused himself by cracking the nuts with something heavy. What did he crack them with? You will have to wait until the end of the story. When he had eaten all the nuts, he felt happier and he lay down to rest on the prince's beautiful bed. The Lost Steel. The Lost Seal. King Henry VIII woke out of a troubled dream. He felt ill, tired, and very old. I know that I shall not live much longer, he said to himself. I am old and I have had a long life and I am ready to die. But Lord Norfolk has made me angry. He must die before I do. I will give the orders now. He called to his servants, bring me the great seal. Now in those days, kings did not just sign their names with a pen and ink, they used a seal too. King Henry's seal was made of gold and he used it on all his important papers. It was called the Great Seal and it was as big as a man's hand and very heavy. Only the king or his eldest son could use the Great Seal, and everything that the king or his son signed had to be marked with the Great Seal. Lord Hertford arrived. My lord, he said, you gave the Great Seal to Prince Edward yesterday. You are right. Go to his rooms and fetch it. Lord Hertford came back, shaking his head. The prince says he knows nothing about the Great Seal, my lord. Poor mad boy, said the king sadly. Don't worry him now. But as soon as the Great Seal is found, Norfolk must die. Here we don't know what Norfolk have done, but Prince has stolen or maybe has thrown away that great seal. But we have seen that how cruel the king is towards other people except his child. We will study other things tomorrow, inshallah. I will show you the list of the words what you people need to do as your homework in a moment. This is the list of the words. What you have to do for homework is find synonyms and make sentence for each of the word. You also have to do your exercise at page number 71 of chapter 4 as we have done chapter 4. Meet you in the next lecture. Take care of yourselves, do your homeworks, and till then, Allah Hafiz.